Prasar Bharati, in collaboration with National Book Trust India, presents Story Lounge on All India Radio.
Contrary to popular perception, reading habits are not on the wane due to multiple sources of information emerging on digital platforms. Yet, book publishing is on a downslide. This ultimately affects people who are on the wrong side of the digital divide and cannot afford new gadgets. To support them, Prasar Bharati and National Book Trust have come together to promote books over the radio, which is an affordable medium in the context of our socio-economic milieu.
Today we present a story entitled Heroes Do Not Grow on Trees. This story is narrated by the author herself, Sudha Puri, a publication of National Book Trust India.
Hello children, today I am going to tell you a story called Heroes Do Not Grow on Trees. We could not stay in bed for long in the morning during the summer vacations. A lot had to be accomplished during the day. A game of carom, one of ludo, one of snakes and ladder. Then a game of gitte, that is, various tricky moves with the help of 5 rounded stones. Or stapu, an outdoor game first drawn by chalk on the ground and then played by hopping in and out of the 8 columns. Stories and comics had to be read. Radio programs had to be heard and television had to be watched in the evening. Watermelon feasts with family and making of various sharbats and drinking them, and the visit of the ice cream man and choosing the right ice cream by looking into his box. All this had to be done. It would have been a shame if any of these could not be done due to the shortage of time. Hence, the early rising during vacations. A normal day would begin with a visit to the flower clock park near the Yamuna river. There was a big clock made of different colored flowers on a raised mound-like surface covered with grass. The clock always showed the right time, hence the name, Flower Clock Park. We would go there every day and play games like hide and seek, tippy tap, wish amrit, rope skipping, catch, langri tang. Hide and seek was not much fun because there were very few places to hide. It was a big open park with few trees and many bushes. I was always the first one to wake up. I would wait for Sadhna, Sushma, Shabnam and Vitu to come and call me. Sometimes Sushma's twin brother Ajay would accompany her, uninvited, just to disturb us. He was very naughty and always came in our way trying to ruin our game. His parents would frequently scold him because they always got complaints about him from neighbors. Someone would come and say, "See Behenji, Ajay has broken the window pane with his cricket ball." Another one would come and say, "Bhai Sahab, he is always trying to start my scooter." Once he opened the cage of Mrs. Sharma's pet parrot and it flew away. Mrs. Saxena always complained that Ajay ran around on her terrace flying kites and crying out, "I'd go." Once when Ajay was playing gulli danda, see, he's playing gulli danda here. His gulli flew off and fell among the dried pappers of Rama auntie. She was close to tears and Ajay's father had made him do 20 push-ups as a punishment. We all had a good laugh. Ajay signaled to us that we will have to pay for our laughter dearly, and we did. He ruined our ghar game, breaking the kitchen and the drawing room, and told us that it was not a punishment of the other day. His father was just making him do some exercises. "See my muscles," he said, raising his arms like a wrestler. Once during our vacations, we went to the Flower Clock Park, but we could not play anything. That day, as soon as we reached the park, we scattered in different directions. We too went up to the mound near the flower clock. Shabnam climbed on a low tree trunk. Sushma went near a small sand dune and started making a sand house. And I went towards the center of the park. There was a small pond full of water, covered with lotus leaves and a few flowers. It also had a fountain in the center. The pond had a small railing around it on a raised boundary. I would wonder many times if we could go inside the pond and splash around and feel the wetness of the water in the shower of the fountain. But I would just stand near the railing and watch it longingly. That day, as I stood near the fountain enjoying the cool breeze, I saw something moving in the pond near the low boundary. Out of curiosity, I slowly moved in its direction. Hearing me approach, it seemed to move further in the cluster of leaves in the water. I hope it's not a snake, I thought to myself. I was a little alarmed, but slowly walked towards it. I could hear Vitu and Shabnam laughing and talking in a distance. My heart was beating very fast, but I kept on moving towards it. As I reached nearer, I realized it was a small brown-colored vulture which had fallen in the pond. It was trying to keep itself out of the water by taking the support of the boundary of the pond. With one of its wings and a foot, its lower body was stuck in the leaves and twigs. It was trembling and one of its wings and foot seemed to be a little bruised. I was so shocked that I could not say a word or do anything. Just then Vitu called out, "Hey, come here, all of you. This tree is fun. We can all sit on the trunk." "There's a bird here. I mean a vulture," I called out weakly, afraid that I might frighten the vulture with my loud calling and it may lose its balance and fall in the water. "What is it?" Vitu shouted back. I turned around and ran back to Vitu, panting for breath. I told her everything. Everyone came along with me to see the vulture, and the leader was Ajay. We all gathered around it and started thinking of ways to save the vulture. Ajay suggested that he will catch hold of one of its wings and pull it out. We agreed with him and said a silent prayer as he knelt down to pull it out. The vulture cawed out loudly in pain and pecked at the hands of Ajay. Unnerved a little, he let go of it. We all screamed as the vulture lost its balance. It frantically splashed in the water, and with great effort and struggle it regained the support of the raised wall. We were all very disappointed and thought with sinking heart that we may not be able to save the vulture after all. I looked around to see if I could call anyone for help, but nobody was nearby. Suddenly Ajay saw a young man, maybe a wrestler, jogging in the jogging path of the park. He ran towards him and told him about the vulture. The man looked in our direction and told Ajay that he would come after finishing his usual rounds. Ajay started running along with him, requesting him to come and help the vulture. After some time, the man gave in and came along with Ajay. He also tried to take the vulture out by holding its wings but failed. Seeing his painful condition, he tried to pull it up, holding by the neck. Once again it slipped out of the man's hand and slipped into the water. It agitatedly beat around the water plants and tried to gain balance on the sill. Slowly trembling, it regained its stable position and looked around helplessly. The man asked Ajay to go inside the pool and give a gentle push from the bottom, removing the clinging leaves so that he could pull it out. We all panicked, but before we could say anything, Ajay had jumped into the shallow pool and was moving swiftly among the lotus flowers and leaves. He held the bird's soft body and pushed it up. The man pulled up the vulture and placed it on the soft ground. The vulture immediately got up and started moving around, staggering in the beginning and then fluttering its wings more confidently. It managed to hide itself in the bushes near the pond. All of us gave out a cry of joy and relief. We all stood around the man admiringly and thanked him for the help. We couldn't play anything that day, but kept discussing about the incident, Ajay's bravery and courage. He had become our hero that day. The incident had brought out the hidden hero inside him. As for the vulture, it flew off after some time and perched itself on a low branch of a neem tree. Then moving very slowly at times, shivering, sometimes falling on the grass, and then quickly regaining its balance and trying to fly, it managed to reach at the higher branch of the tree. As for us, that evening was spent in fantasizing about the vulture. Sadhna said it could be the same vulture which had carried Sindbad away in one of his adventures. We too completely disagreed with her. It was then that Ajay's father came along and asked us about the morning's incident. He told us that vultures are very beneficial for our environment as they eat the carcass of dead animals and are called natural scavengers. Their movement, the movement of the group of vultures, is called kettle or venue. Uncle informed us that Indian vultures are now on the verge of extinction, mainly because of some kind of poisoning by the drug used for some animals. And the drug was now banned by the government, and captive breeding of several species of Indian vultures had been started. So children, that's how we spent that morning in the park, and that's how I remember that incident very clearly, and it became this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
You were listening to Story Lounge, produced by the World Service of All India Radio on behalf of Prasar Bharati in association with National Book Trust, India.
Story Lounge comes to you every day, same time, same channel.